What is return on investment? It's the benefit to the investor resulting from an investment. It's how much you get for how much you give. So, how much do you get when you invest in Cyprus? You get a high-potential, dynamically growing economy. You get a modern and attractive tax and legal system. You get high-quality professional services, highly qualified and multilingual personnel. You get location, location, location. But you also get a lot more. A kind of return on your investment that's harder to find in other destinations you might be considering. You get a safe place to relocate yourself, your employees, your business. The crime rate in Cyprus is one of the lowest in the world. A sunny place. Cyprus's Mediterranean climate means you can enjoy almost 300 days of sunshine per year. A diverse place. You can enjoy the beauty of the beach and the serenity of the mountains with just a 30-minute drive. A cultured place. You can enjoy 12,000 years of history through museums, archaeological sites, and religious sites. You can enjoy classical and modern art performances, sports of all sorts, an active lifestyle, and so much more. There is never a dull moment, unless, of course, you simply want to tone it down and relax, which you can also do in a variety of resorts, nature excursions, or small picturesque villages. You get a country that's great for kids and families. There are more than 90 high-level international schools, a plethora of parks, playgrounds, and year-round family events. Perhaps you thought you couldn't have the best of both worlds. In Cyprus, you can. A country that's exceptional for business and ideal for living. A country where your real return on investment lies not only in numbers, but also in the quality of life that you, your family, and business associates will enjoy. Your investment will yield long-term business returns and unique personal rewards. It's time to redefine your return on investment. It's time to invest in Cyprus.
Well, I hope you agree with me, Marilena, that this was a nicely made video with lovely sceneries that show Cyprus and its potentials. But reality can be even more promising, including more layers of professional, social, and family life. And as the video says, you can get a lot more. Michael, thank you very much for your kind introduction and your kind words about Trident. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon from Cyprus. I'm Christina Economou, and I'm the Business Development Director of Trident Trust Cyprus. Trident Trust is an international corporate service provider having presence in 25 and more jurisdictions around the globe. The main services are, we provide corporate services, trustee services, and fund administration services.
Well, I'm Marilena Stylianou, a senior manager heading the client accounting department of Trident Trust Cyprus, and in turn, I would like to express our gratitude for being able to participate in this brilliant event. Christina and I would both brief you on Cyprus and what makes it an attractive jurisdiction for headquartering purposes.
Marilena, for the first time and since 2020, we see a comprehensive effort from both the public and the private sector to make the island a technology hub. As a result, we are witnessing an increased demand of Cyprus incorporated companies developing and creating IP protectable works such as software and inventions. Can you please explain why this trend?
Well, Christina, Cyprus has traditionally been a business jurisdiction, becoming initially attractive and famous for its holding company regime, its beneficial tax legislation, and its wide network of professional lawyers, tax advisors, and other professionals in general. However, following the crisis of 2013 and the fast pace of change in the international field of doing business onshore, Cyprus has launched and heavily promoted certain incentives to attract business people and investors by effecting significant changes to its tax legislation, enhancing its current service offering and double tax treaties, and by establishing new regimes, just like our IP box regime. As a jurisdiction, Cyprus is therefore offering an efficient IP tax regime for tax optimization, as well as maximum protection and certainty for the IP owners due to the ratification of all major IP treaties and protocols. Our IP box regime is fully compliant with the international developments applied in line with OECD's guidance, and it has been, of course, reviewed and assessed by the EU Code of Conduct. It is also very important, essential to mention that the local IP regime offers an 80% exemption of qualified profit from the exploitation of IP assets, thus resulting to an effective tax rate of 2.5%, which is among the lowest in Europe if we compare it to 4.4% in Belgium, 4.5% in Hungary, 5.2% in Luxembourg, and so on. It also offers 0% tax on the gain from the disposal of IP assets as a capital nature transaction, which constitutes, of course, an additional very important advantage of this particular regime. Before I close this part of our presentation, I need and I consider it critical to mention the following points about Cyprus and its business sector. First of all, business is conducted in English. The legal system in Cyprus is mainly based on the English judicial system, the common law. It has a strong and well-organized business infrastructure. It also has a well-developed ecosystem of international professionals and business services. It is generally quite easy to do international business in Cyprus and easy to access expertise in both financial and legal matters. Cyprus constitutes a cost-effective destination if we compare it to other jurisdictions. There is, of course, a high level of education and professionalism in the island and experience which has been built through the years. Cyprus imposes no withholding taxes on dividend payments to foreign shareholders, provided, of course, that those are not being paid to any blacklisted jurisdictions. It maintains a wide network of double tax treaties, which are currently 60 in total. And last but not least, a number of non-profit and other organizations have been set up in the island to promote and accelerate the growth of technology and the innovation ecosystem in Cyprus by assisting local startups and SMEs to attract foreign investment funds, improve innovation, capital liquidity, and access to capital. The network of such organizations extends to startup accelerators, venture builders, professional service providers, platform hosting firms, IT companies, fintech companies, of course, gaming developers, business transformation professionals, marketeers, and of course, a lot of other experts. We at Trident Trust, as a well-established service provider, do strongly believe that the technology sector can become the new mainstay of the Cypriot economy, that Cyprus has the potential to become one of the leading technology hubs in Europe. But we need to make international ICT companies and their workers see beyond the tax incentives. We need to make them feel that Cyprus adds value in every aspect as a choice of location. So, Christina, what do you think makes Cyprus attractive for businesses to set up their office while attracting talents?
Well, as you have already mentioned, Marilena, Cyprus has decades of experience as a successful international business center, offering all corporate and professional services to assist with the initial setup, relocation, and ongoing administration services. In the video we just watched, it has made an emphasis on location, 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 which is very true. Cyprus is the investment gateway to EU, as well as a potential, as a portal for investment into the Middle East, Asia, and Africa. There are significant tax incentives that make the island attractive, other than its corporate tax of 12.5%. Having recognized the numerous challenges in the international tax planning, where substance has become a crucial element with the introduction of economic substance, especially in the offshore jurisdictions, Cyprus government has introduced incentives to companies seeking to relocate or locate in the island. First is the facilitation and the simplification process for the issuance of residence and employment permits in Cyprus for third country highly skilled nationals, enabling companies to hire employees of non-EU countries where the employment should be at least of 2 years duration. Second, the possibility for support staff to relocate under, of course, certain conditions. The free access to the labor market for spouses of highly skilled third country national employees, the introduction of the digital nomad visa for a period of up to 3 years, the 60-day rule for obtaining tax residency, the non-domicile status, which provides an exception from payment of the so-called special defense tax or dividends, interest, and royalties and rental income. There is no estate duty, no wealth tax, no inheritance tax in Cyprus, and a very significant exception to non-domiciled individuals who take up the residence in Cyprus is the 50% exemption on income from employment in Cyprus. The exception applies for 17 years for income that exceeds 55,000 euro and above per annum.
ICT companies, Christina, are concerned with providing their staff and their families with a healthy and safe environment to relocate and live in. So apart from all of the technical and tax incentives, what do you think, how is life like in Cyprus?
Well, life is meant to be enjoyed in Cyprus, where emphasis is put on working to live as opposed to living for work. Cyprus is one of the safest European countries to live in. The crime rate is very low. The island is also known for its quality of life and the facilities offered, which are very important elements for individuals moving to Cyprus and bring along his or her family. Starting from the pleasant Mediterranean climate, you already mentioned about the modern infrastructure, the beachfront and mountain properties, the selection of international schools such as English and French, the advanced medical care facilities, the multicultural environment, all combined with the local hospitality make Cyprus a great place to live and raise a family.
And of course, Christina, the almost all year through summertime and sunny weather. Well, lastly, and taking the opportunity of being among fund managers and VCs, it is good to briefly mention that the funds industry is a growing sector in Cyprus, with some experts describing it as Europe's new investment fund hotspot. Which factors do you believe have driven this growth?
Yeah, indeed. The Cyprus fund sector has definitely been the success story of the island. The sector is now established as one of the most promising of the Cypriot economy and one of the fastest growing at a European level. According to a recent report by the local regulator, assets under management of Cypriot funds has reached to 11.6 billion euro at the end of the third quarter of 2021, a year-on-year increase of almost 50%. A key milestone to the success was the transposition of the specific EU legislation, the Alternative Investment Fund Managers Directive, into a local legislation, which has given a modern and flexible regulatory framework to work with. Cyprus is on the OECD whitelist, is a non-shore jurisdiction and fully compliant with all international regulations. Cypriot fund managers may market units of the funds they manage to investors in the EU as part of their passporting authorizations. There is a competitive tax framework, and there are several incentives in place to attract fund managers, funds, or individuals. We have already mentioned a few before. Another option given to the fund management personnel is to be taxed at the flat rate of 8% on performance-based bonuses. Lastly, fees for professional services such as audit, advisory, legal services are substantially cheaper in comparison to other EU and HAPs, which leads to a more competitive total expense ratio. A very rough estimate for annual expenses for an externally managed fund is around 65,000 to 70,000 euros annually.
Well, with everything that goes on around us, there is no doubt that we are all witnessing a slowdown in global funding. Some people even say that winter is here. We listened also to previous speakers discussing about the public capital markets, which are currently on a stable and downward streaming. However, there are still brilliant ideas and startup ventures that should be given the opportunity to thrive while VCs and funds need to produce the returns for their investors. Cyprus can be a jurisdiction of choice to safely maintain businesses while retaining good returns. So join us at the networking lounge, which follows shortly, to discuss further and elaborate on Cyprus and its business sector, which is currently booming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.